welcome to ReligionWinked TV, where my spiritual ears stay. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays. I believe it should be in the title. I'm going to pull up my chat box. Hold on. We'll get started in one moment. We're going to talk about schizophrenia tonight. Alright, hey everybody. How are you? Welcome to ReligionWinked TV. I'm your host, Spirituality, and we're going to talk about Mental Health Mondays today on this channel, and we're talking about schizophrenia. And my spiritual ears stay. Guys, this is my first time going live like this with Mental Health Mondays. I am going to do my best to stay on script here, right? But I have a nice presentation laid out for us if everything goes accordingly. And welcome again, once again. If you're new here, please hit that subscription box and the bell icon next to it. And you have choices. You can hit all notifications, some notifications. Please hit that subscription box and the bell icon next to it. And you have choices. You can hit all notifications, some notifications. I do apologize. I'm turning down the tablet. I see everything is working. Alright, so 2 people watching. Thank you. So we have a... Why isn't it going down? Hold on one second. I think I got it. Alright, thank you to the 2 people watching. Let me see. Hi. So we're going to talk about schizophrenia today. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays. I am doing like a new layout presentation here, guys. And we're going to talk about basically how 2.4 million people, adults that is, in America, suffer from schizophrenia. Now, if you've been following this channel since March 4th, we've been doing mental health from ADHD, borderline personality disorder, eating disorders, psychosis, depression, anxiety, which I have a little bit right now because I'm doing this whole different presentation, right? So let me just relax and take my time and guys, I needed a mental health day today. Usually I come on around 5 o'clock, maybe even earlier for East Coast time. And it's around 9:25 now because I wanted to just relax. I'm in the process of moving. I was looking for a new place until I finally kind of signed off on everything today. And it's like, whew, you know, I've been packing. So let me take a deep breath, a sip of coffee, and we'll get into this mental health issues that, you know, we all kind of have been perplexed with from time to time. So what I'm going to do is, I love to go ahead and allow the rest of the music to play out. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take myself out of out of frame. Hey, how's that, right? And I guess you guys can still hear me pretty much. I'm still gonna pull up my chat. I'm gonna let the rest of the music play, and then when we get back, we'll start to go through some of this mental health called schizophrenia. What I'll do is give you symptoms, warning signs, diagnoses. I'm not a professional. Disclaimer, I am not a professional. And some of the ways you can cope scientifically and spiritually, okay? And again, I always feel if a little bit of Bible verses and a little bit more faith were put into the mental health clinics around the world, people will have a second chance, a greater chance at recovery, because recovery is up to that person. And if that person is not in their right mind to recover, don't have family around them, I believe the faith of God, I believe God can heal that person. So with that being said, the music is off. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to move some things around on the screen. I do love this new software I'm working with. And again, welcome to the 3 people watching. Thank you. Wow. I appreciate you there. I don't see anybody in the chat yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say hello before I get started. Generally, I take about an hour. Sometimes if people are engaging with the conversation, it can go, an hour or so. But generally, I usually get on here, I give the information out, I don't diagnose anybody, I offer, my assistance, and go from there. So, let me say hello, because my chat over here on the tablet is actually allowing me to say so. Shalom, everybody, welcome to the 2 people watching. So basically, we're going to get into how 2.4 million people, adults in in America suffer from schizophrenia. And this picture right here, I'm just going to go through it briefly, is just a sign of what schizophrenia may look to the person living with it. Because as we go through some of these little presentations here, we're going to see that looking at a person with schizophrenia, we don't know that person has it. It's hard to tell. They look normal, so you would not really be able to tell. But the person living with it that has the disorder within them, this is what their life looked to them. So over here, schizophrenia right here, let's pull this up. Confusion, hallucination, disorganized speech, abnormal motor behavior, disorganized thinking. Now, I always wanted to reach out to Mona Simone, to whoever's listening, and a lot of the disorganized thinking, the disorganized speech, I witnessed from her channel. And that's not to be disrespectful, but this is just a woman who noticed things, and people probably notice things in myself as well. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. I always put myself on the front line. Am I dealing with confusion? Do I have hallucinations? Do I have disorganized speech? Am I a disorganized thinker? Do I have abnormal motor behavior? Am I a disorganized thinker? Confusion, hallucination. Hey, Nori B. Hi, welcome. Yes. Nuri, I was so excited earlier when you had showed up with the new presentation. I was nervous as heck, right? I rushed off and clicked off stop streaming, and then I saw all the comments in the chat. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So I made a comment on there like, hey, what's up? So this is Schizophrenia, Mental Health Monday. Generally, we've been doing it since March 4th. Every Monday we came forth. And I'll go through some of the disorders we went through since then. But tonight it's going to be schizophrenia. And Also, here, this middle picture, if you can see it good. This middle picture, I'm doing good, Nuri. Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for all the love and support. LOL. I know you didn't see them. I was so nervous. Let me just pause with schizophrenia right here. Nuri, on the software that I'm using, right? It works better when you have two monitors. If not, what you're trying to see on the screen, like how I'm trying to move the presentation, if I go to the chat, right, it makes it go like it minimizes that window that you see on the screen. So I couldn't navigate, but now I pulled the chat up on my tablet like normal, and I can keep the presentation up on the desktop. But I was so nervous. I'm like, ooh, look at me. I got a new setup. Yay. But schizophrenia, back to schizophrenia. I'm actually bittersweet right now, Nuri. Basically, we've been doing mental health since March 4th, and this is pretty much the last one we have to do. And I'm kind of happy because I get to go out with a really nice presentation. Once you see, how I'm creating over here, how I'm doing the content over here, I have a lot of, not a lot, I have maybe 2 or 3 people, that's a lot to me, comment and ask me, am I sharing my mental health videos on other platforms? They said because I deliver the information respectfully, I'm not biased with it, and if I had ever dealt with anything like anxiety, which I share my story, you can go to my playlist called Mental Health Mondays and check out anxiety. It's like maybe the second or third video we did. But we're not gonna be doing it anymore. So after this Monday, yes, you love the new setup. Me too. I can't stop smiling, and I'm real excited that I got to this point, And if you want to go to the playlist, you can go check out all the other mental health. And then, this is going to be our last time. So next Monday, I may have call-ins just for mental health on Mondays, or look for other diagnoses or disorders that we can talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and close down this, but it just looks like people are in your brain. You're holding your face in your hand when you deal with schizophrenia, and you have all this confusion and stuff going on inside. And like I said, I'm learning as I go along. I don't know everything, and the reason I got into the field of helping people so I can learn along the way. And the best way to know if you deal with anything or have any of these symptoms or diagnoses or misdiagnoses is to study. Try to help people that you see have it, and you help yourself along the way. So this one right here says pretty much, how many personalities have you got? And you're going to see this it's like a delay. But you don't look schizophrenia or schizophrenic. It's pretty much the truth. What I was saying with this picture right here is that people look normal to the person dealing with the schizophrenia. Their life look more confused and more disfigured than us looking at them living with the condition. Them themselves living with the condition is more of a like a fuzzy cloud, like a confused state. So again, I just want to show you here this picture. I just thought it was cute, but it just blends in a lot of colors, a lot of faces, and you can kind of see how mixed in and mixed up a person probably could be dealing with schizophrenia. Now, one thing I'm going to share with you is that a person has to be responsible for their own recovery. That's why family support is very, 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 thank you, Nuri, for the thumbs up, is very important. And then again, schizophrenia here is a psychotic disorder. We're going to get into NAMI. I've been sharing this information from the National Alliance on mental health. Not these pictures. These pictures I Googled, but I'm going to get into the National Alliance on Mental Health. I'm going to put the number on the screen like I've been doing. I put the National Alliance of Mental Health number. I'll put their email. I'll put their text number. Also, I will put the suicide hotline. So with this last presentation right here, I'm just going to go ahead and make it big enough so we can see this pretty good. I know too well, my brother had it. Absolutely. Being in the nursing industry, being around people on drugs, you see it a lot in this community where I live. Yeah, and it's, you can't say it's a shame, it's sad. It's just people don't know. And like I be trying to tell people, Nuri, is that science will tell you one way with medications, psychotherapy, medications, and all kind of light treatment. We're going to get into all of that. And then on the other hand, I try to encourage people to develop their faith again, because for some reason, I believe when these kind of disorders set in, there's a negative energy trying to suck the life out of these people. I call it the devil. I call it they get in the minds, they get in the souls of people. Trauma, don't get me wrong, trauma, heartbreak, breakup, the loss of a family member, any traumatic event will cause somebody to get depressed or get sad. But if it happens repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again, every time you date a guy, you break up, now you're depressed. And then 2-3 boyfriends down the line, you still dealing with the first depression from the first boyfriend and have not gotten over the second, third, and fourth, or however many thereafter, right? And it just sits there. And I think faith, I think, spiritual encouragement, I think Bible verses, and, I think clinics should, write prescriptions for 4 verses a day, for the patient to meditate on, or, just have, signs up in the office, just Bible verses when they're sitting there counseling the patient or whatever, or writing a prescription for medication, write them a prescription for a faith-based way of handling it, because they'll tell you some people use faith, but they don't get into what. And nutrition is another thing. Exercise is another way that people can, start to recover. So I am a schizophrenic, and so am I. And I guess this is schizophrenia to most people. It's like a split personality, a dual energy going on within them. They want to be right. They want to live right. They don't want to live this delusional lifestyle. They don't want to be confused. And I know God is not the author of confusion. The devil is. The enemy, the negative energy of the world, wants people confused. The hallucinations, people, you saw that screen. Let me just go ahead and show it back to you real quick, where the woman is pretty much got people in her head. And this is how it is. I know if the devil gets in the minds of people, he can control them. He can get them to drift away. He can get them to become withdrawn from society. We talked about dissociative disorders, and we talked about schizoassociative disorder last week. And, this lady, you're going to see it come up, the one in the middle there, schizophrenia, with the people in this woman's head, and she's looking at her face. So when I started looking for other ways to grow this channel and to do something better for this channel, mental health was one of the things I looked out and saw on YouTube, that there's a lot of people abusing their diagnoses, misusing their diagnoses, don't want to be diagnosed and only want to play like they crazy so they can get a check. I don't know. I said, Lord, let me do something. So here we are, Mental Health Mondays. So what I'm going to do, guys, let's go ahead and try to make this transition. But before we do, we got to pay the bills around here, right? So please get yourself over to teespring.com. Yes, the links will be down below. Everything is pretty much in white except for a mug, a gold mug, and a black mug. It's going to come up on the screen shortly. But we're wing stars over here. We lace, right? We're lace. L-A-Y-S-E. Looking at you side-eye. Because we have to begin to look at the people who abuse mental health. Who misuse people with mental health. Who are denying themselves proper treatment because they don't want to admit they deal with mental health. So, yes, get yourselves over to teespring.com because we have to begin to look at this stuff, side-eye. And again, I'm trying to raise funds, so instead of just asking you for money, you can go over and buy merch. Now, let's get on with the show. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays. You're watching ReligionWinked TV. I am your host, Spirituality, and my spiritual ears say... Alright guys, as you watch this, the number's down below, 1-800-950-NAMI. You can email NAMI at info@nami.org. Also, you can text NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Health, at 741-741. Yes, I got the numbers to scroll at the bottom, Nuri. I don't have to type them in the chat anymore, sister. And the National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. People, get the help you need. If you recognize it, mention it to them. Some people don't know they're dealing with certain disorders or certain conditions. Some people don't know they have walked away from God and are living with a lost soul and have somehow disconnected themselves from the spirit and the creator of this world, of the universe. Somehow they have allowed the hurt and the pain and the depression and the anxiety and the despair, the rejection set in, the bitterness, the anger set in, and allow their minds to be manipulated and deceived by the negative energy in the world, by the wickedness of the world that will try to destroy mankind through mental health disorders, through being hurt. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull up some information here while that's on the screen. I see 3 people watching. Thank you. Oh, so now that that's off the screen, I can type here. Hold on. Maybe I can give a heart. Oh, wow. This is cool. So, Nuri, this is the second time I'm using, like, the live control room. Usually I just go through Google Hangouts. So this presentation is so much better. So much better. Oh, guys, I'm so in love with this. I'm so in love with the 3 people watching. And that's, platonic. That's in a godly way. Thank you so much. Alright, so I can. Check that out, Nuri. Hey. So I can operate once. I see it buffering over here, but that's okay. God bless whoever, whatever, why it's buffering. That is not going to stop us. Oh, yes, I like it. Absolutely. So, I did the graphics, guys. That's about 5 or 6 pictures together. I just kind of overlaid them. I made 1 go left to right, made 2 go down, 2 go up, and it's just a picture of schizophrenia with a lot of little newspaper clippings pasted around the one big one. So it's just a pretty, something to meditate on while we talk about it. And I'm stepping up my production. This is content, you guys. This is what I thought YouTube was all about, right? So wait till I get into celebrity gossip. Because I do talk about it, but I'll be able to pull up, the pictures and visuals and even to do reactions and things like that. I can sit on camera, listen to audio, or watch a video and just talk about it, and it's so much better. Alright, so we can chat. We got that, right? Now, I'm gonna pull up National Alliance, and we'll be done. We started about 9:25, and it's only been about 15 minutes, guys. That's pretty cool. So, a mental health illness is a condition that affects a person's thinking, feeling, and or mood. And sometimes it can do all three. Now, these conditions may affect someone's ability to relate to others and function each day. And this is what I was saying. When it's repeated, we've all been hurt. We've all grieved. We've all been rejected. We've all lost a job, lost a loved one. Things of that nature. Trauma, military combat, physical abuse. I'm not saying we all. I'm just saying when I say we all, I include myself when I'm talking to people. There's people out there that's been through some of the stuff I'm mentioning. Excuse me. One time, it's enough. It's like, wow, what a blow. And then you kind of get your footing again. You kind of get it together again. You kind of pick up the pieces and move on. And then here comes another one. And you barely got your footing down from the last traumatic situation. Here comes another one. And another one. And another. One time my daughter, because we lived together, but even growing up, it was like L after L after L, and it wasn't like, oh, I was falling by the wayside and I didn't have anything and my bills wasn't paid, but everything I tried to reach at, it was like L after L after L after L. She's like, Mom, I don't know how you do it. And I told her, it's by the grace of God. I didn't, run to the clinic seeking help. Did I think I was going to lose my mind and go crazy? Like, Lord, why is this happening to me? But I understand the word of God. And sometimes there's called famine in our walk with the Most High God. Other people would look at it as if, oh my God, I can't, what's wrong with me? I'm cursed. Why I can't get in the best jobs? I used to get the best places. Whatever, the best men, the best cars, and all of a sudden it was like L after L after L after L. Like, wait a minute, what's going on? You can drive yourself crazy. You can allow that to weaken you, So, one of the things I like to tell people over here, each person will have different experiences, even people with the same diagnosis. All of us on the chat right now, all can be diagnosed with schizophrenia, but our experiences are going to be different. And I like to say, especially if I'm standing on the word of God and somebody else may not be. And that's why I say, when they say keep church and state separate, church and state affects a lot of arenas in life, even with mental health. If mental health is state, okay? That's the science, that's the doctors, that's the clinics, the diagnoses. In the church, right, is the faith. Well, I'm not going to, we don't have to call it church. We can call it the word of God or the faith of God, you know what I'm saying? They won't mix those two together because it would make the state change its ways. It would make the state bow down to the rules and the laws and the judgments of God, and that's something mankind don't want to do. Mankind runs the state. Alright? So they deal with mental health differently. I think to keep people more bound than to set the captive free. Because I'll say this, Nuri, and to the other two people here with us, when Christ dealt with Legion, who is many, he said his name is, He cast them out into the pigs. I didn't see medication being prescribed for bipolar, lunatic disease, the schizophrenia that's in the Bible. All these sorts of diseases and disorders, there's nothing new under the sun. People dealt with it before our generation and time, but they dealt with it differently. So I encourage people to follow Nami's way. Get all the information that you can from me through Nami, and also begin to encourage your faith. Begin to feel good about yourself again. There's one thing the Bible says: a merry heart doth good like medicine, but a broken spirit, dries the bones. These disorders, the hurt, the pain, your bones are dry. You got to strengthen the bones again. You got to strengthen the inner man. I've had a lot of L's in my life. But for the last 12 weeks when we've been going through mental health, the only one I can honestly admit to, and I share my testimony, that is anxiety. Even now I have a little bit of it, because I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I have 3 people listening and my screen looks amazing. The software is running. Nothing is freezing up. My voice sounds good. Well, it's a little tired because like I said, I've been working hard for the last 3 days. And I'm sitting here encouraging somebody with mental health. So one of the things, people, you have to do, and this is where we get into it and we have a little controversy here. Recovery. See, people in the world, clinics, AA, NA, mental health, it's a recovery process. It's an ongoing thing. Recovery means recovery, ongoing, right? Recovered means you went through something and you got over it, overcame it, and no longer deal with that. I tell all my friends that deal with drug abuse, substance abuse, which goes along with a lot of disorders, if you excuse me, if you begin to allow faith to set in and the word of God to set in, it's a possible chance you may be recovered, because God recovers people. People of faith, we are recovered, redeemed, restored, but it's all what you believe. If you walk in doubt and unbelief, these things don't work for you. So if we can encourage people to start to believe these things again, mental health won't have a chance in our community the way that it is, people. Anxiety. I did a video. I used to work at a job 2016. For the love of God, it was a call center. Now, I'm in nursing. I'm an LPN, but I go off and do other things as well. And I'm working in a call center for like 8 months. And about maybe 6-7 months into it, I started feeling kind of crazy or whatever. But like the 8th month there, I felt myself get sick. I went to the hospital. They sent me to a rheumatologist. They like, oh, you got lupus, you got rheumatoid arthritis. I was like, the devil is a damn liar. Which report you gonna believe? That of the doctor, or God saying you are healed by his stripes? So mentally I kicked in. But going to that job, I had to pull over. I had to call my doctors, call my boss, call in. And then they took me out of work for like a year. And not having to go to that job, I can go anywhere else in the world and I don't have anxiety, except for YouTube when I come on to try to go live, right? Just a little bit. But anxiety, if it paralyzes you and causes you not to live a functioning life, that's when it becomes a problem. So I can function. It's just that little hand sweat when I click live stream. I'll be like, okay, wait a minute. But yeah. So okay, look, hold on. Yes, someone has been through something. Yes, things happen for a reason. Just have to learn how to cope and have faith. Absolutely. And I think people have given up hope at certain points in their life. like, just take, not to get off track here, but just take someone who lost a loved one, been married. I don't even want to say a long time. And just say 20, 30 years and they're still a young couple. And then just the depression sets in. They don't go out and cut the grass anymore. They don't get the newspaper off the front porch. You see them stop cooking. Little things like that, we take for granted, but pay attention to people, because when they digress into their regular behavior, something is really going on. Some kind of disconnection is there from reality. And that's what a lot of mental health is, being disconnected from reality. So in my honest testimony here, anxiety, I've been going through them. Anxiety is pretty much, I dealt with that back in 2016 and haven't dealt with it, like I said, on a level where, oh my God, I would try to drive to work. I had to pull over. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And this is a woman of faith. This is the same person. That's why I said, when you're in God, the devil will try to attack you even more. Because he knows once you get free, once he can't get in your mind, it's endless what you can do to save other people who was in your same situation or worse. Once those people become free and get their life back, if that's not enough to rejoice God, I don't know what is, people. So that's why I'm out here fighting for people like I am, because I know mental health teaches people to be in recovery. NA teaches people that they are in recovery. That's an ongoing thing. Start telling yourself you are recovered, because even NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Health, tells us that you have to play a strong role in your own recovery process. But if you on drugs and you're dealing with bipolar and you got schizophrenia and no family around, how are you in control of your own recovery? Those doctors don't know exactly what medications make you feel good, what foods at this point in time. All of that plays a role in you being recovered. The thing of it is here is you can recover. So people, stay engaged mentally, spiritually, physically. Once you disconnect mentally, spiritually, and physically is going to be a struggle. Once you disconnect spiritually, mentally, and physically, you're going to be strong, but the mind is going to be weak. Once you disconnect, physically, the mind and the spirit struggle. It has to go hand in hand, people. And once you have that little wave come, or that hiccup, or somebody hit you with a boulder, or throw a monkey wrench in your life with an accident, or the unexpected death of a loved one, we have to find a way to cope, like Nori says. We have to be willing to share ideas on how to help people cope. But you have to talk to these people who go through these traumatic situations, because if we don't know what works for them, how are they recovering? Because what works for me may not work for them. That's why I believe so many people are not recovering with the disorders. The things they're being prescribed, not even just medications, some of the other psychotherapies and treatments that's being offered. So, guys, it matters. Mental health matters. And I needed one today. I've been busting my butt, packing, moving. Nuri, I've been working on different content and uploads and just playing with this new software and everything like that. So, guys, while we're at it, let's go ahead and see if we can do another commercial. Get yourself over to Amazon.com. You can pick up all your reading needs, from Christmas to Black Lives Matter, baby books. We got tween books, and it wouldn't be no good going over there if you couldn't get your spirituality read on as well, right? We have books like in the Chronicles of Falling from Grace, the Falls of the Bible, and some of my own. That's a personal testimony under Drew L. Murray. Alright, thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and get back. There you go. I hope there's not that much of a delay because it's like a big delay over here. Get yourselves over to Amazon.com. Drew L. Murray, and you can see it there on the books. And again, I'm a self-publisher. I was in a rush to get some up. I did all the designs, all the formats, all the words are mine, all the way I constructed the book. I don't always dot my I's, cross my T's, but again, the way I teach people is the same way I talk and keep it real when it comes to black people, Christianity, mental health, the way of the world, the sins of the world, God versus the enemy of the world, and the Roman Catholics and all those other people that go along with them. So, here we go. Back to schizophrenia, National Alliance on Mental Health. The phone number is 1-800-950-NAMI. And you can email them at info@naimi.org. And you can text them at 741-741. Okay, so this is your girl Spirituality, and my spiritual ears stay. National Suicide Hotline. That would be 1-800-273-8255. Let's get the help that we all need. Alright, people? And again, there's no judgment here. I'm only putting out the information. I am not a doctor. Just finding content to share on this channel. Oh, cool. We'll check them out on Amazon. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, before we get into schizophrenia, I'm going to read off to you the names and what some of the conditions are that we did previous to now. ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. ADHD is a developmental disorder where there are significant problems with attention, hyperactivity, or acting impulsively. Children and adults can get that. The second one we did was anxiety disorder. Everyone experiences anxiety sometimes, but when it becomes overwhelming and repeatedly impacts a person's life, it may be an anxiety disorder. Bipolar disorder, and I think this one is the most abused and misused, misdiagnosed disorder. People use it as a scapegoat. Bipolar disorder, people abuse it in the worst way possible on YouTube. But bipolar disorder causes dramatic highs and lows in a person's mood, energy, and ability to think clearly. Borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder, BPD, is characterized by severe, unstable mood swings, impulsivity, and instability, poor self-image, and stormy relationships. Depression. Depression is more than just feeling sad or going through a rough patch. It's a serious mental health condition that requires understanding and treatment. And a lot of times when you look at one, there's other related conditions, there's other misdiagnoses, there's other conditions that can go hand in hand. And sometimes a person may deal with all of the conditions at one time. Dissociative disorder. Dissociative disorder are spectrums of disorders that affect a person's memory and self-perception. Guys, I wish you guys can just go. I'll try to put the link in this video and go click on these and just read them for yourselves. Early psychosis and psychosis. Psychosis is characterized as disruptions to person's thoughts and perceptions that make it difficult for them to recognize what is real and what isn't. Now we have eating disorders. You have anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and then BED, which is a binge eating disorder. Who would have known? I've heard about the first two, But the binge eating, for the love of God, how many people binge eat? When you become so preoccupied with food and weight issues that you find it hard to focus on other aspects of your life, it may be a sign of an eating disorder. Obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. Many people deal with this. Obsessive compulsive disorder causes repetitive, unwanted, intrusive thoughts, obsessions, and irrational, excessive urges to do certain actions. Compulsions. Turn your camera on and curse somebody the hell out. That's what they do on YouTube, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is the result of traumatic events such as military combat, assault, an accident, or a natural disaster. Now, this one was a very interesting one for me. A lot of people who've been in the military, a lot of people who had some kind of assault, an accident, even a natural disaster, a spider bite, a dog bite, somebody called you fat, for the love of God, on YouTube, you just go into this PTSD. You can't let go. You can't get over it. You can't forget. Somebody talked about your mom, your dad. It's just like these people get so hurt and easily offended, Miss Nori B, and suffer PTSD more than they know, over some of the most not simplest things, because a spider to me would frighten me, but it wouldn't cause me to fear them and get paralyzed by them and be crippled, by them, that I couldn't live my life. So we gotta strengthen people internally, help them get over their fears. Because another thing with all the disorders, so if we go on to schizoaffective disorder, right, and then tonight schizophrenia, all the disorders pretty much deal with fear, being afraid. And fear won't allow you to cope the way you normally are designed to. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is click on discussion, and we have about 15-20 minutes to get it in. And pretty much I'm just going to basically give you guys the warning signs. There's some symptoms, there's some diagnosis. Again, call NAMI, reach out to them if you feel yourself having any of the things we're going to talk about, or know somebody. Let's begin to help our community heal, right? Because until a person can heal, they never get over what originally and initially hurt them. And hurt people hold on to as much hurt and pain as they can, because that's what makes them feel good in that state. I'm not a psychologist, people. I just think about things, and I've been through things, and I thought about if I did it this way, and if I put it together, and if I just try the word of God instead of that Lexapro and Sertraline, excuse me, I always mispronounce that. Instead of those drugs they try to prescribe me back in 2016. Try saying you are healed by His faith. You don't know why this anxiety came on you, but it doesn't have to stay. And I fought. I didn't give up. And from that day to this day, the doctors don't have no lupus, no rheumatoid arthritis. They keep saying they can't find nothing by the grace of God. So I don't want to be sick. I'm not going to claim it. And I'm going to help my people try not to claim it as well. So as soon as this window catches up, usually I don't have a problem, but as soon as we get into it, we're going to do like an overview of what schizophrenia is. The symptoms are there. Remember, we saw on one of this is the cool thing about this, OMG. One of the cool things is I can go back to the scene right here, And part of schizophrenia is confusion, hallucinations, disorganized speech, disorganized thinking, delusions. You see that all over YouTube. Let's face it, people. And the adults, not the children. You see this in a lot of people. Oh, I like that little collage. So I'm waiting for this window to open up. Usually it goes well with me. There's a video. If you guys want to hear the video, normally I was not playing the video. Like I said, this may be our last mental health, unless we just open up the phone lines next Monday, find other topics dealing with mental health to talk about. Just come to the channel and take a mental health day. It's okay. I just put on music sometimes and just sit and think and just kind of, multitask in the spirit and like just meditate, because meditation on certain words do strengthen you. So I wish they would even teach people how to meditate. So schizophrenia, it is a serious mental illness that interferes with a person's ability to think clearly, to manage their emotions, and to make decisions and to relate to others. It is complex, long-term, and it's definitely a medical illness affecting about 1% of Americans. Although we saw 2.4, I don't know when that statistic came out. You can see on the blue screen there, 2.4 million adults dealing with it. And that could possibly be right, depending on what the census is for America, right? Although schizophrenia can occur at any age, the average age of onset tends to be in the late teens to the early 20s for men and the late 20s to early 30s for women. It is uncommon for schizophrenia to be diagnosed in a person younger than 12 years old or older than 40. Why is that? They say it's uncommon. I mean, people suffer tragedy or trauma at any age. Especially a child under 12 being molested. Especially a 70 or 80-year-old person being abused. This world always want to put age limits on. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. God is no respecter of persons in this world. Nobody is exempt from having tragedy or trauma or some kind of attack or abuse or some kind of neglect happen to them, or natural disaster, a fire like I had in 1992. I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter. Nobody ever knew somebody was going to break in my house and throw a heater in my bed. And while I'm in another part of the state, Poughkeepsie, New York, God let rain fall down from heaven like judgment. That's what Martin Luther King was trying to tell y'all. My distributor cap from the bottom to the top was wet and I could not drive. And I sat in this park. I sat in this public diner because my friend was in New York and I was supposed to be meeting him. And he was in New York and he kept telling me he was coming. So I kept sitting there waiting. If he never would have told me for like 3, 4, 5 hours that he was coming, I would have drove home and may have been in my house at that time. But thanks be to God, that rain came down and Peter kept saying, I'm coming. That rain came down and Peter kept saying, I'm coming. And I sat there by the grace of God. 5 o'clock in the morning, my economics teacher, Miss Marchione, called me and said, Drew, where you at? Thank God. Dude. Screaming. I'm alive, I'm okay. It's a 5-alarm fire at my house. To God be the glory, y'all. I could have been lost my mind several times. So I think I am, because I put the fair use in here. I think I am going to go ahead and play this video and make it a good last Mental Health Monday. Because like I said on the NAMI's website, I went through 12 different disorders Monday after Monday after Monday. Thank you to the 4 people watching. Any age, that's right. And oh Lordy, what good Jesus. Praise him, right? Oh Lord, I could tell y'all some stories. I didn't get on here to tell story times. I got on here to talk about the Lord, to teach, to educate, and I guess story time will help some people, because I can tell my story, and I've been telling my story better than anybody. Let's hear this, okay? I turned up the volume. Let's see if we can hear this.
Imagine you're sitting in a room surrounded by 100 televisions, all on different channels with the volume turned all the way up. Now try to concentrate on one of the televisions. Try to make out one single sentence. Now imagine having that much noise in your head every minute of every hour of every day. Welcome to reality for 2.4 million American adults living with schizophrenia. Because schizophrenia manifests differently in every person, it might not be hundreds of televisions, but voices in your head that no one else hears, or different symptoms entirely. These distractions can be overwhelming experiences that lead to decisions and behaviors others find troubling. Schizophrenia doesn't appear to be linked to one specific cause. Studies suggest it could be the result of several interconnected factors, like brain chemistry, genetics, and environmental triggers. Thankfully, there are treatments which help manage schizophrenia, and, with the support of others, recovery is possible. You are not alone. We can help.
Well, alrighty then, guys. So you heard that, right? We're going to get right into the symptoms to the 3 people watching. This is Spirituality. You're watching ReligionWinked TV. And my spiritual ears stay. Yo, you got to see my granddaughter. She 5, right? She'll come in here, grab the bell. And my spiritual ears stay. And she'll put the bell up to my ear, her ear, everybody else's ear. So, okay, symptoms. Alright, it can be difficult to diagnose schizophrenia in teens, as saying here. This is because the first signs can include a change of friends, a drop in grades, sleep problems, irritability, common and non-specific adolescent behavior. Let me stop there. My granddaughter, she got this thing where she rebel about going to sleep at night. If for some reason now, and I was like trying to, side-eye her a little bit, make sure she okay. We prayed over her. Ain't no fear. There's nothing bothering or troubling her in her sleep. She's not, giving us signs like that. And I looked at her today, excuse me, probably right around 8:30, 8:45, right before I was coming live. And I said, you're rebelling. You're rebelling in the spirit right now. Her tooth hurt, something in her eye. She just looking around the house to try to pick something up, clean something, fix something. I said, no, this little girl is not trying not to go to sleep, trying to talk to people. And I looked at her. I said, you rebelling. I said, you say what I'm going to say right now. I said, Lord, let my sleep be sweet and peaceful in you. I said, Lord, I said, let nothing trouble me in my sleep. And then, you know what? She stopped saying what I was saying. I said, no, you rebelling right now. You got to recognize what it is, people. She went to bed. So other factors include isolating oneself and withdrawing from others, an increase in unusual thoughts and suspicions, and a family history of psychosis in young people who develop schizophrenia. This stage of the disorder is called the prodromal period. Alright, so yeah, it's like being in public place when everyone's taking in different sounds all at once. Gotta concentrate, and it's hard for some people to do that. And I don't know why the I haven't seen it come up on my screen yet. Nori, did you get to see did you hear the video? Yeah, she was fighting sleep. Absolutely. I was like, we not developing that behavior. No. So I feel symptoms and things happen to children as young as 5 years old. We noticed it for like the last 2 or 3 months. The girl never had a problem. Then all of a sudden, her tooth, and she goes to the dentist, nothing, her eye, and she just started making up little. I said, no, we're going to break that spirit off of you the best way we know how. And when I spoke to her and I looked at her, I said, you're rebelling in the spirit and you're going to take your butt to bed. Because she showed no signs of fear. She showed no signs of being, going. Some kids are afraid to go to sleep at night or go in their room or whatever. It was none of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish reading. Some of the things that basically we're going to get into, some of the symptoms are hallucination, delusions, negative symptoms, cognitive issues, disorganized thinking. So with the hallucinations, people hearing voices, seeing things, or smelling things others can't perceive. And I used to think this was some kind of spiritual thing too as well. But God says people will see dreams and have visions and things like that. This is kind of different, guys. Although people who can see dreams and have visions are generally classified by the world as crazy. So are authors. Like, I'm an author and I'm a little bit touched, guys, not to be funny or making light of this situation, but they generally say authors are crazy people. I'll take that one. I mean, I am an author and we do have this unique, peculiar, different kind of lifestyle, but there's nothing crazy about us. So when people can't perceive what I perceive in the spirit, they would think I'm crazy. And in the spirit, looking at somebody that can't hear from God or don't understand the Bible, I'm not looking at you crazy, but I'm understanding that maybe part of the stuff you're going through is because you don't understand the Word of God. So it's two-sided, guys. Nobody is right. The world's been doing it that way forever. God's been doing it His way. If we can bridge that gap between state and church and make some sense of it, I believe more people will be recovered from a lot of these disorders. So the hallucination is very real to the person experiencing it. Absolutely. Every one of these disorders are. Every last one of these disorders are very real to the person experiencing it. And you know what? To the people that are around the people that experience it as well. These disorders don't only just affect the person, they affect everybody this person comes in contact with. So, basically the voices in the hallucinations can be critical and threatening. Yeah, that's that demonic devil telling you to kill yourself and commit suicide. That's that voice, people. That's why I say I'm not trying to sit here and destroy what Nami has been telling y'all for the last 12 weeks. But Nami, the president, whoever, I would sit and tell them the same thing. You have to reconsider looking at mental health on a more spiritual level, along with physical medication, therapy, or whatever these people would have to do to recover. But that voice in anybody's head telling you to commit suicide, telling you to kill somebody, telling you to drive your baby down to the lake and drown them, that voice telling you to kill, steal, and destroy your own self from within. Because once that voice can get your mind to turn on you, yes, I said the mind turns on itself, people. Just like any other autoimmune disease, when your body starts to turn on itself, the mind begins to turn on itself as well. And I believe that's what a lot of these disorders is. That there's a voice out here in people's head that's leading them astray, leading them to kill them own selves, their mothers, their fathers, their babies. There's voices in people's head that tell them not to shower, not to eat for the day, not to take their medication that they even prescribe for these certain conditions. That voice in the head is what's killing people, y'all. So I go after that voice in people's heads. I call it the devil. I call it the demonic spirit and negative energy in the world that's killing, stealing, and destroying God's people. So voices may involve people that are known or unknown to that person hearing them. Now please, the only voice I hear is the voice of the Most High God, the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, the Spirit of Truth. I don't hear those voices that tell me to think negative or do negative things. No, but that's why I said it's a difference with faith and what this mental health try to put out. Because there is people that hear the voice of God, and there's people that hear the voice of the devil. But who's in your head? And what voice is coming out of these people? That's how you know. And I tell you, what a person is saying, what's going on in a person's heart by what they're saying or not saying. And another thing is, once the devil can get you to shut up, and a lot of these disorders mute people, make people don't want to be around other people, make people withdrawn, shut up within themselves, no longer talkative, no longer expressing themselves, just sitting around, moping. Delusions. Thank you to the 4 people. They also say genius people are crazy too. I know. I'm on my way to being a genius with this new software I got going on, Nuri. So I'm crazy, I'm telling you. No disrespect to, the label of crazy, but you gotta make light of something. Yeah, I'm on my way to being crazy. I'm going to be a genius by the time I get done with all these good presentations, right? I'm going to be a genius YouTuber. That's what I'm going to be now. I'm going to be ranking with the best of them, right? So anyway, delusions. There's a lot of grand delusion. A lot of people separated from reality. Especially on YouTube. We all want to make it to a certain place of status. We all want clout, fame to an extent. We all want a following. But how you get there is how you got to keep it. And how you get there is between you and God. Because a lot of people have gotten there by my favorite 3 words: kill, steal, and destroy, right? Seeking and devouring people out here, right? For that Google AdSense. I said, what the hell is in the Google AdSense making these people crazy? Delusions. These are false beliefs that don't change even when the person who holds them is presented with new ideas or facts. You a liar. People still believe it. You a so-called child pedophile or pedophilia on these people still believe you. When new facts are presented, it doesn't matter. That person is still going to act like they are a certain level or have a certain expectations of themselves, when the truth is smacking them right in the face. But they'll keep believing it, even if it's false. And we all know on YouTube, a lie don't care who tell it, right? Neither does the truth. Moving right along. People who have delusions often also have problems concentrating, focused thinking, or the sense that their thoughts are blocked. Confused thinking. I'm telling you, the only person that want anybody confused Can I go ahead and say it? The white people of the world, they wanted the black people confused so they can go through, kill, steal, and destroy and reign like they are, right? I'm not going to ever bite my tongue there, people. You gotta, if you're gonna speak your truth, you gotta speak it no matter what arena, no matter who's listening. Cause the devil needs to hear it. Once the devil hear the truth, he may stop damn lying. But as long as the devil with his delusional ass keep believing false beliefs that don't change even when the person or the people who holds them is presented with new ideas or facts, right? Out here lying and deceiving people. That's why I always connect the word of God to anything else I'm learning in this world. This truth is hurting people more than it's helping people. Nami's truth is true. I believe what Nami says. But this stuff being taught the way Nami is teaching it, that voice you hearing in your head is demonic. That is the voice of the enemy of God. And people are delusional out here because they keep thinking Christianity is their religion, and that's the religion that got a lot of people depressed out here. Got a lot of people dealing with borderline personality disorder, eating disorders, because you know the church like to feed you, keep the body strong, but like the Willie Lynch syndrome, weaken the mind. Oops, I said it. Out eating every Sunday. Eat. Probably 75% of the church is overweight. But their mind, their willpower, their determination is weak. The majority of them, not everybody in church, please. The majority of the church. You know Christians are some of the most weakest people in the world. Hell, they don't even have self-control of them own selves, let alone Jesus. What is Jesus out here helping these people? I'm not talking about the Messiah. That's where me and Christians draw the line. They worship Jesus. I worship God, Yahweh, the Most High God. Yes, I had to get there through the teachings of the Messiah, but I didn't stop at Jesus. You got to figure out who Jesus is. Come to the morning read and I'll tell you. That's every day, Sunday through Saturday on this channel between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. I'm plugging myself, y'all. Yeah, I'm getting this production down. I'm plugging my other programs on this channel, right? But yeah, that's where I draw the line with Christians. It's the same Bible concept, whatever, but the entities, the deities, the gods thereof are different. Delusional. New ideas and facts are being presented to the Christians of the world today, and they still hold on to the false beliefs. Their false beliefs don't change. Can you see how this is lining up, people? Negative symptoms. Here we go with the negative energy of the world again. The negative anything. Don't want nothing good for nobody. And there are some of the ones that diminish a person's ability. Negative symptoms are often include being emotional, flat, or speaking in a dull, disconnected way. People with the negative symptoms, you know that, I'm alright, everything gonna be okay. That moping, that whining, that dull, like there's no life in their voice, right? Disconnected way. Haven't I been saying, people, you disconnected? People are disconnected when they deal with disorders like this. And I say from a spiritual God that I know, the creator of the universe first and foremost. When people walk away from God, when they stop going to church, when they stop having a desire to read the Bible, don't mean you got to be holy roly, but when you stop being spiritual, having hope and having faith and having strength and willpower to live, the only one wants you dead is the devil, is the enemy. So it goes on to say, people show little interest in life sustained relationships. They come and go. They come and go. You see that a lot on YouTube for whatever reason. But relationships come and go. Negative symptoms are sometimes confused with clinical depression. Told you. There's a lot of these disorders is confused, misdiagnosed, and that's why people, you have to get involved with your own recovery. Or if you know someone dealing with this, please, please, please get them into, get them some help. Get the help you need, right? You can get the help you need through the National Alliance on Mental Health, because when I did do my research to fact check what I'm talking about, I like NAMI. NAMHMI, National Alliance on Mental Health. 1-800-950-NAMI. NAMI. Their email is info@nami.org. You can text them at 741-741. And the National Suicide Hotline, this should be coming up on your screen shortly, guys, is 1-800-273-8255. There you go, guys. Get the help that you need. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. We got cognitive issues, disorganized thinking. Some people with this symptom right here, cognitive symptoms of schizophrenia, often struggle to remember things, organize their thoughts, or complete tasks. You know anybody like that? Commonly, people with schizophrenia have anasia or lack of insight. Wow. We know a lot of people like that. And again, somebody can deal with lack of insight, but but can remember things and can organize their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody can organize their thoughts good but can't remember things. So just start to pay attention to people around you and see if they, have any of these symptoms. This kind of means that the person is unaware that he has the illness. And I told you, one of the main things when I researched NAMI, a lot of people does not want to admit that they have a disorder, or that they've been hurt, or that they suffer in some way, or that they've been abused in some way, and they walk around with it for year after year after year after year after year, and they don't want to admit to it. That's the number one thing, denial in anything. They don't want to seek help or admit they have the illness, which can make treating or working with him or her much more challenging. So we're going to get right into the causes. Thank you to the 5 people watching. Please thumbs up this video. Please, please, please. And guys, if you want to, please subscribe, like, comment, and share to my video. I would appreciate it. If I didn't ask the newbies that came in tonight into the chat, hit the red box. Once you do that, a bell icon will pop out. You have choices: all notifications, some, or none. I appreciate it if you hit the red box. I'm trying to get the 1K, and I'm over here hustling hard the organic way, the genuine way, which I do normally in my own life. I always say I don't have to stand on anybody else's toes to come up in this world. And I always say, if people want to lift in this life, stick a jack up your ass and get high, right? I'm only joking, people. But you have to. They feel embarrassed. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, if you want to go over and support my channel, I truly, 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 truly do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, back to the causes. I still see like a little delay, but I'm going to keep on talking and hope that we're still on the same page. Some of the causes: genetics, of course, always genetics; environment, brain chemistry, and substance abuse. Almost all the same causes and almost all the disorders we went through since March 4th. Every last one of them: genetics, environment, brain chemistry, and substance abuse. Now, brain chemistry, I'm not even going to get there and read it. Serotonin, when it's low, you feel low. So, work on getting the serotonin levels up, right? Okay, but God says in Proverbs 17:22, a merry heart doth good like medicine. Where's the merry hearts at in this world? A lot of people aren't happy anymore. A merry heart doth good. And the second part of that verse goes on to say, a broken spirit dries the bones. This is your depression. This is your mental health. Get the hearts merry again. Find out what makes these people happy. Talk to the people around you. Do the things that make them happy again. Try to engage them in what was once their guilty pleasures, or love of life, or whatever it was. Find out what makes these people happy again. So I truly believe a merry heart. Are we going to be happy all the time? God's anger, if you've been reading that morning word with me, is kindled all the time in that Bible that I be reading. You're going to have good days, bad days, but overall, you're going to know how to cope with the good days and the bad days as well. And keep what we call in nursing homeostasis. That's a natural balance. And we got to get people back to a natural balance, y'all. I don't know every damn thing over here, but I know all the hurt, the pain, the rejection, the abuse, the bad choices I made, the situations, the setups, everything that came against me in my 51 years. I didn't go the route science have most people going, by the grace of God. So, alright, schizophrenia. I apologize, this chair is squeaking. Genetics isn't caused by just one genetic variation, but a complex interplay of genetics and environmental influences. Absolutely. Hell. Wait till we get to environmental, because the toxic situations on YouTube, I know people got on these YouTube streets feeling good. I'm going to get to 1K, I'm going to have my following, and they depressed. They sad. They hurting. They in pain. I can feel it in my spirit, y'all. There's a lot of depressed YouTubers. People dealing with these situations. But it goes on to say, while schizophrenia occurs in 1% of the general population, having a history of family psychosis greatly increases the risk. And then, roughly 10% of people who have a first-degree relative with the disorder, which this is something that family don't pass down. Oh, I got schizophrenia. Go to the doctor and get checked. I was that when I told you about my anxiety. The one good thing, people, that came out of all that blood work that was done on me and all the anxiety tests and whatever, G6PD, it's a glucose phosphate something. It's an enzyme missing in my blood, in me. It's a deficiency. Indicative to the northern part of Africa, to those Jews that once resided over there. Oh yeah, you can get your blood work done. It causes hemolytic anemia, people. It's a genetic disorder. Oh my goodness. I found out 3 years ago. I'm going to be 52 in October. I found out when I was 49 going on 50. All the blood work, all the testing, everything, prepping for surgeries and things like that. Nobody ever told me I had a genetic disorder. I have to stay away from blueberries, red wine, mothballs, Fava beans I never heard of, people. But the rheumatologist was like, good news, bad news. You don't have the lupus, the rheumatoid, and all this other stuff. We can't find nothing there. You have the gene that says you have the lupus, but that's all we can find, a little inflammation that goes along with it, right? But we found this deficiency, oxidation, medications, certain things, the red wine, the blueberries, and I do mothballs inside my house and outside my house to keep like rodents and things like that away. All my life I've been using those three things to find out 3 years ago it was causing my red blood cells to break down. My red blood cells don't reproduce the same way a normal person's red blood cells do. Actually, my red blood cells destroys themselves. Stress, oxidation in the body. Like I said, I'm careful with my environment, with my brain chemistry, with substance use and abuse, with genetics, because I understand that these things can cause you to be off. So, when get your blood work checked, people. That's all I can say. Genetics do play a big role in a lot of people's moods. Looking back in life, there was periods of times where I was really, 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 really tired and didn't understand why. Now I understand, because it's called hemolytic anemia. My blood destroys when the blood cell break down for whatever environment, like that. Anything that gets into my blood, any of the oxidations. If I took the wrong medicine, it would have done that. You understand what I'm saying? Genetics, people. Like sickle cell. A little bit like that. Absolutely. Except mine's is the lower back pain. Right? If I get real with you. Exactly. And it takes a long time for my blood cells. Sickle cell is the red blood cells don't move through the way they should. Mine's break down and don't build themselves back up at a normal rate that a normal person's would. So yeah, genetics, people, okay? So also, the highest risk occurs when identical twins is diagnosed with schizophrenia. The unaffected twin has a roughly 50% chance of developing the disorder. So, if one is developed with it, most likely the other one has a 50% chance. I'm telling you, people, prayer changes things. Let me just tell you that, okay? I have to inject that in here because we're going into the environment, and the environment is toxic on YouTube. People are definitely having issues with breakdowns on camera, mental health, crying, reaching out for help, lashing out. It's like exposure to viruses or malnutrition before birth, particularly in the first and second trimesters, have been shown to increase the risk of schizophrenia. Inflammation or autoimmune diseases can also lead to increased immune system. And I was telling you, the mind turning on itself is like an autoimmune disease. A once healthy mind that was in a good state mentally is now broken down. One abuse, broken down. The loss of a loved one, broken down. Is no longer functioning at a healthy level. Mental health matters, people. So, I needed it today. Oh, really? Yes, ma'am. So, brain chemistry. Problems certain brain chemicals, including neurotransmitters called dopamine and glutamate. Now, I'm surprised they don't have serotonin here. May contribute to schizophrenia. So, this, I know serotonin low levels is more with depression, but this right here may cause the miswiring, because neurotransmitters are like wires in the brain. And sometimes they malfunction. A lot of times we say in the nursing industry, you know when you forget something, either that wink or there's some good actors. Absolutely. You right about, and that's another sick disease too. If you're not on here really trying to be an actor, but you on here acting a fool for the coin, something is wrong with them, Nori. They still may need to see a doctor. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving you the information. Oh, so okay. So back to the brain chemistry. Serotonin may be related to more so with depression and low levels. Neurotransmitters, we say in the nursing industry, like say, oh my God, I'm just trying to remember neurotransmitter. What? Oh, I just had a lapse in my synapse. It's because, excuse me, one neurotransmitter trying to connect with the other one misfires. Not so much Alzheimer, dementia. Sometimes you have like a brain fart, like, oh my goodness, where did I put my keys? And it could be in your hand kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, absolutely, Nuri. That kind of thing. So it's two different things going on in the brain with certain different disorders. Serotonin, low levels, definitely with the depression and things like that. Maybe more so bipolar because it has the mood swings in bipolar. And it has mood swings here, but the neurotransmitters is what got the noises going through and the commotion and the confusion. So substance abuse, we go right into it, right? Basically, the mind-altering drugs during teen years and young adulthood can increase the risk of schizophrenia. Some people can't do drugs and keep a sane mind. Other people can do drugs like it's their lifeline. I mean, I've seen both spectrums, being in the nursing industry, being around people most of my life. Some people could be on them drugs and it's like normal procedure. It's part of their life. It's probably what's keeping them alive right now. And other people do drugs and snap. Lose focus, lose insight, lose grip, start doing things for the drugs that normally they wouldn't do if they were in their right mind. That's why the Bible says God doesn't like drunkenness. He didn't say don't drink. There's something different for the elders if they desire to be elders of the church. Don't be a glutton, don't drink. But he's saying drunkenness because you get out of your mind. You lose grip and control of who you are when something enters your body and causes your mind to alter. Same thing like them spirits. When them spirits get in people, causes their mind to alter. So, substance abuse. A growing body of evidence indicates that smoking marijuana increases the risk of psychotic incidents and the risk of ongoing psychotic experiences. That's why they're giving out medical marijuana cards, right? They want everybody to be psychotic right now. See, I just don't get the teachings of this world. I just don't listen and buy into everything I hear. The reason why I'm mentioning this because my daughter, she's dealing with fibromyalgia, y'all. She just had surgery on her right hand November carpal tunnel. Her left hand January, her left foot in March, and she may have to get her right foot done. For the love of God, she went and she trying to get the SSI. She's going to college for paralegal. Her overall GPA is 3.93. She was just telling me she made the president's list ever since she's been going. We know what pain is. We know what trauma is. We also know what prayer is and who God is as well. But I mention that because they just gave her a medical marijuana card. I said, you little heifer, you. Now let me stop, right? The strength of it though. Hell, I make an average, a seasoned weed smoker, George Loca, go over there YouTube, George Loca, Loika. He sit on camera and smoke that weed, be having all that different kind of weed over there. I'm not telling you to go sin and go sit over there and be a glutton, but I just know I seen him and subscribed to him when I first got on YouTube because he subscribed to me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And at that point, anybody that subbed to me, it wasn't a sub for sub, but if you feel me worthy to sub to me, I went over there and said, oh, thank you very much. I'm here to show you love, da 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 da. He smoked that weed. Strong weed. The medical marijuana card she just got approved of, hell, is stronger than the average weed that's grown from the ground. I bet you that. Talk about psychotic, right? They won't legalize marijuana for everybody to smoke, but somehow marijuana can heal pain. And for some, the Bible says it's for conscience sake. It's to be woke. It's to be, spiritually perceiving things in this world. I'm not getting into that teaching right now, but I just thought I'd share that with you all. Yeah, my daughter, she's 26, a mother of two. And she's my rock, believe you me. She's my strength. But yeah, she suffered her pains, her nerves. I asked her, she's been hurt. Sometimes people traumatize, internalize pain differently, hurt differently. I'll share one more story because we don't have anything to hide. Her kid's father got hit with 7 years about 5 years ago. Left her with my grandson. That's why she moved in with me, because I didn't want them to be out there by themselves. But now he's on his way home. She's about to get her own apartment. Things are getting better. But the stress of it all, something shut her nerves down. And she's tough. She moves around. She gets along fine. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So I study these things. And also, not to just be getting off track here, but my daughter, she also was born with a brain abnormal. Non-cancerous. It was benign, but it's on the pituitary gland. So my daughter is special. When I found out at 3 years old my daughter had that on her brain, I went to nursing school. I had to find out what was going on. And I've been a nurse ever since. I had to find out. Things will motivate you in this world to either do better or to check out. Life is too hard. L after L after L. Disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. Bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news. The littlest offense. Ew. I went in somebody's live chat the other day and they didn't speak to me. I see people bug out and wig out over stupid shit like that. I said, no, people too sensitive. That's why these disorders is on the rise. People are too sensitive. And then you have people out here, they know they can play the system, go to the doctor and act crazy and abuse it that way. But people are really being offended. Taking stuff too personal. Getting all in their feelings, and look what happened. Now, some people really just have a hard time and can't deal with life. I understand. Some people really get hurt. Military, post-traumatic stress disorder. They come back. That'll send anybody into maybe another, realm of living and thinking. Some people come back, be peeking out the windows, think people still bombing them and stuff. It's like, come on. Seeing people kill. But then other people come back and they fine. Other people come back from the war and they are fine. That's why everybody can be diagnosed with the same schizophrenia, but everybody's experiences are different. So some of the diagnoses moving right into that, right? What a great segue, right? But guys, we have to pay the bills over here on this channel, right? Let's see. What didn't I advertise yet? Donations. No. If you want, guys, if this is helping you, if you feel like this channel has blessed you in any way from any program we offer on this channel, you can cash at me at ReligionWinked TV, and you can PayPal me at PayPal Drew L. Murray 50. I would greatly appreciate that, you all. So I'm learning how to navigate through the scenes and, hold down this presentation. I'm actually loving it, guys. I'm behind the scenes, like, cheesing and just so proud of myself because I had this software on my system. I guess I can show you when it was downloaded. And I looked at it once or twice. I probably downloaded it somewhere like September maybe. And I looked at it once or twice about a month ago. God said, give it a chance. I started Googling tutorials, playing around, and here we are today. So, let's go ahead. Some of the diagnoses, you all, and I promise, this is a little lengthier. Usually we're done in an hour. It's been a little over an hour and a half maybe. And we only have the diagnosis, we have some treatments, and we'll be done. So, diagnosing schizophrenia is not easy. They say that about everything because it's hard when you're dealing with demons on one aspect spiritually, and then when you're dealing with the mental health aspect of it on the other hand. It's hard to diagnose. I always tell you, you cannot feed demons medication. It does not work. So how do you deal with demons? Well, in the world of spirituality, we cast them out. We speak the word of God. We say a certain name and they tremble at that name. Start feeding the people around you the word of God, some spirituality. Them demons will flee. There's a Bible verse that says, submit yourself unto God, resist the devil, and he will flee. That's how I escaped his devices all my freaking life that I've been aware of spiritually, knowing that Bible verse. Submit yourself to God. Does that mean you have to give up your whole entire life? Have to live like some Christian uptight, faking the funk like they going to church on Sunday living for God, but on YouTube living for the devil Sunday through Monday night? Ooh, I mean Monday to next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, people. Don't do it. You can't feed demons medications. I'm trying to teach the people something now. Don't nobody listen to ReligionWinked TV, but thank you to the 3 people. So, sometimes using drugs such as methamphetamines or LSD can cause a person to have schizophrenia-like symptoms. Absolutely. It all can. That shit cause you to hallucinate. Hello? It make you think you're seeing the devil, some red horn, pitchfork, that may exist, may not exist, but evil people exist. A wicked heart exists. Okay, that's who's doing the wickedness in the world. So it goes on to say the difficulty of diagnosing this illness is compounded by the fact that many people who are diagnosed do not believe that they have it. They don't believe it. And here go the next thing. Now we Christians, ex-Christians, 5 years removed, absolutely. My anniversary, April 24th, 2019. I'm no longer a Christian. 5 years since removed. Why? Because they tell you people perish for lack of knowledge, but they won't teach the people the truth. They keep teaching the people what the slave master taught them on the plantation. We can't do that, people. Can't do that. No. Christ came to set the captive free. But some of this stuff is really enslaving the people's minds. Even the religion of Christianity, their minds are being enslaved. Lack of awareness is a common symptom of people diagnosed with schizophrenia and greatly complicates treatment. Lack of awareness, lack of knowledge. People perish for lack of knowledge, lack of awareness. While there is no single physical or lab test that can diagnose schizophrenia, like a lot of it's not. They'll label you everything they want to label you. But who's to say is that? Where's the receipts to prove it? You're just making up disease after disease, disorder after call it like it is. It may very well be demonic. But the world don't want to deal with that side of life. They want to blame everything on science, on medication. Like, give me a break. The medication is making the people worse. The side effects. The people are like zombies. They can't think for themselves, and that's what the devil want to do. Once the devil gets you to where you can't think for yourself, he got you. You're now controlled. Your mind is being manipulated. And you have become the slave. And with these disorders, if they can get you to be mute and not live a productive life, that's winning the battle for most people, for the enemy. And that's losing the battle for most people. You gotta get them engaged with living again, people. Serious. Alright, so it goes on to say, let me see. Over the course of a person's illness or over 6 months, this can help ensure a correct diagnosis if you see a provider who evaluates the symptoms. Because I'm not a doctor. This video is not a doctor. It is a spiritual injunction, unction, to get you to hear something other than what NAMI and what the world is teaching. Again, if you have to believe anybody, go to NAMI, get the help you need at the National Alliance on Mental Health, right? Go there, do that. The number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. 1-800-950 1-800, hold on, NAMI, NAMI. Damn it. You know I'm getting tired, guys. Okay, so stay focused, because somebody always come to my video and say, nice content. Did you think about promoting your video on zm.com or some other video site? And I'm gonna check it out. I mean, they have confidence that, you know, what I'm doing with these mental health is actually helping people and need to be heard. So I respect that. Now, the healthcare provider must rule out other factors such as brain tumors, possible medical conditions. Such, my daughter had a brain tumor, has a brain tumor. They never did surgery. It's just the abnormal growth in a certain part of her brain. But again, by the grace of God, she never was disabled from it and never had any problems behind it. Possible medical conditions and other psychiatric diagnoses such as bipolar disorder. That is the biggest one. Always misdiagnosed, misused, abused. People don't like to admit that they have this specific one. Not to mention any mental health issues. I'm brave, right? I dealt with anxiety. The key word is dealt. The key word is I am recovered. And I took possession of my own recovery. I didn't want to be dealing with anxiety. God forbid. What if that happened to every single job from then on? No. I had to take control. So, to be diagnosed with schizophrenia, you must have several of these things, and if not all of them. Delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, disorganized or catatonic behavior. Oh Lord, do anybody know what catatonic behavior is? Not catastrophic. Like it's like almost comatose, almost like the spiritually dead, the living dead, the walking dead, zombie like. Excuse me. Negative symptoms. Anything negative is not positive. Anything negative hurts people more than it helps people. Now, we need negative situations in our life to grow. We need to experience pain. We need to experience all the things. Not all the things. Not the sexual rapes and attacks and physical abuse. Nobody needs to like experience that. I just mean the breakup of a boyfriend, the loss, the normal things, the loss of a loved one, because death is a part of life. There be no life, life, no afterlife if there was no death, right? So, that's expected. But all the other abuse and negativity, I mean, people are experiencing at a higher rate here on YouTube. A lot. So, we're going to go right into it, guys. Delusions or hallucinations alone can often be lead to a diagnosis of schizophrenia. Identifying it as early as possible greatly improves a person's chances of managing the illness. For the love of God, that's anything that's a sickness, that's anything that's not normal to you, that goes out of sync, out of order, not lining up, not the usual. You gotta check it and address it. Alright, so it goes on to say you have a better chance managing the illness, reducing the psychotic episodes, and recovering, people. Being recovered. Because, yeah, you may experience schizophrenia. You may have experienced bipolar. But why do people want to hold on to it? When even NAMI, when even God says you can recover. Doubt and unbelief. Or possibly they're manipulating the system. Some people don't like the work. It's easier to cry out, I got mental health, than it is to push through. So, some people recover good care. Some people receive good care during their first psychotic episodes and are admitted to the hospital less often as, episodes occur. And they may require less time to control symptoms than those who don't receive immediate help. Immediate help is the key. Don't keep sweeping it under the rug and saying you don't have a problem. If you question anything that you heard today, call NAMI. The number is on the bottom of the screen. I see it's kind of trying to freeze up, but it's back to running. You can email them, info@nami.org. You can text them at 741-741. And usually when people are depressed or dealing with some kind of mental health condition or disorder, suicide is right on the cusp of that negative voice in their head telling them to kill themselves, to hate themselves, to stop living, to stop thriving. Oh, you don't matter. You ain't no good. Nobody appreciates you. Nobody love you. Shut that voice up. I had to write a book to myself called Peace I Speak to the 3-part me. There was a part in my time, in my life, where my flesh was in control. Everything fleshly. Everything had to be desirable of the world. I didn't really pay God too much attention, but He was always paying me some attention. Amen. So be it. Can anybody know what I'm talking about out there, right? So when I got 19 years old, it's like, wait a minute. I started feeling myself a little bit in the spirit. Like, But God has helped me overcome a lot of the things the devil tried to use to destroy me. So, the literal the literature, on the role of medicines early in treatment is evolving. Again, there's a lot to do with medication, the side effects. I mean, you gotta be they may want to prescribe you this, and if you're not in your right mind, or if you're hallucinating, or if you're going through delusions, you can't tell them this does not work for me, but they'll give it to you anyway because they tested it on other people. But then we just read every experience is different for everybody. These conditions are definitely personable, and they need to be addressed individually and not overall. The same medication written for the same schizophrenia, but again, two people diagnosed with it has totally two different experiences with it, and the medications and the treatments as well. So basically, some people can describe symptoms in a variety of ways here, right? How a person describes symptoms often depends on the cultural lens she is looking through now. See, it said he earlier. Now it's a she. Let's say she and he, right? Because this happens across everybody's race, culture. Is mainstream around the world. People deal with mental health. People get hurt. People suffer trauma. They gotta stop making things gender specific. God is no respecter of person, and I believe neither is the devil. If he can get in the head of a man, a woman, a child, or older person, he's gonna do that and try to break them down so they suffer with these disorders. So they'll never get over the hurt and the pain they first experienced initially. And that's what we gotta get back to. Figure out what's causing it. If somebody tell you what caused them to be that way, address that, and not so much the mental health itself, the disorder. There's an underlying condition. Alright guys, so we're going on 2 hours here, and I'm about to wrap it up. Basically, here we go. See, and again, it's always a race thing when it comes to certain things. African Americans and Latinos are more likely to be misdiagnosed, probably due to differing cultural and religious beliefs or language barriers. Again, religious beliefs. If we were to believe the word of God more, these people, NAMI and everybody else, would be shut down. It would be less medical clinics, mental health clinics out here harboring our people, right? White, black, brown, it doesn't matter. People are people when it comes to these kind of diseases. We don't want to see nobody really suffer, but especially our people, because you got to fight hard for your own. If you don't, who else will? Matter of fact, everybody else fought against your own. And a lot of races had people fight against them, not just the black race, right? So I just don't like when they say African Americans. Hell, white people deal with a lot of these disorders, whether they have more money or not, more so than black people or any other race. But they're the ones writing the articles. They're the ones putting the information out, so they have to make themselves look good. Americans, Latinos are more likely to be misdiagnosed. Any person who has been diagnosed with schizophrenia should try to work with a healthcare professional that understands his or her cultural background and shares the same expectations for treatment. Exactly. And if your cultural background is being spiritual, like the black people are of the world, of the Bible, and have been since the days of Jesus, since the days of Christ, Noah, Moses, Methuselah, Lamech, Seth, Adam, and those thereof, right? Yeah, you gotta deal with them spiritually, because that's their culture. Matter of fact, that's why the whole world is in an uproar over religion, because of the cultural background that these said Hebrew Israelites and people of the Bible, black Christians today. Hell, anybody that was sold into slavery and suffered the Willie Lynch syndrome, they have to deal with their culture spiritually, because they were spiritual first. They dealt with the Most High God. So, going into the treatment, antipsychotic medications, always. These are psychotic medications, against psychosis. Psychotherapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy and assertive community treatment and supportive therapy. So let me see. And some of the related conditions here, again, substance abuse is always a related condition. Post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and major depression. So, my advice, successfully treating schizophrenia almost always improves these related illnesses. And successful treatment of substance abuse, PTSD, or OCD usually improves the symptoms of schizophrenia. So I'm going to click on antipsychotic medication and see if I could give you, and again, therapy is usually like light therapy, treatment, things like that, guys. So we're basically 2 hours deep. We're going to go ahead and wrap this conversation up. I'm excited, kind of bittersweet. This is the last edition of Mental Health Mondays as far as us having a script and a presentation. We did it for 12 weeks straight. It was like a series I incorporated. And one of the ways we can keep it going, you all, is if you want to just have call-ins, have a Mental Health Monday every week. Or if there's new diagnoses or new conditions that come out, we can continue to go forward with those. But out of the 12 that I had in our 12-week series, we completed that, which is an amazing thing, right? Consistency is the key to getting a lot of things done. It's just being persevering and just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, right? So, let's see. Again, some of the medication, hold on one second. Again, guys, antipsychotics, I think I've given you enough information in this presentation. Sometimes I hate to say bye. I like to talk. But let me see. We've covered it all. We definitely covered it all. Let me go to discuss. Some of the other topics you can discuss with schizophrenia. And the first one is work balance. Nuri B, yes, Wink, I am barely holding my eyes open now. Good content. God bless you. I appreciate you. And Nuri, we're done. I'm just going to give you a couple of things here that you guys can study, research. Work balance. You may be out of sync at work. The stress. Staring at computers all day long. Your boss, co-workers. Evaluate that. How's your decisions off medications if you're on medications? Meat substitutes. I know there's a lot of things with meat that we might want to try to all kind of detox from that, right? Anything interesting happened to you lately? These are some of the things you can discuss with yourselves and other people. Is it schizophrenia, or is it because you use meth or any other kind of drug? Let me see. I may seem confusing at times. Problems reading or watching a movie on TV. Schizophrenia. Recent change killed this group. I mean, it sounds weird, but the truth about schizophrenia, in my case, prosecution of attempted suicide. In places, is it legal? Know this about marijuana use. And then it just Medicare for all, and then if college were free. Those are some of the things that may play, have some things to do with this whole schizophrenia. So guys, I've been going live now 2 hours and 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of music here. And then, again, don't forget to please, please, please subscribe to my channel. Again, you can get yourself over to teespring.com, pick up some merchandise. You can get over to amazon.com, pick up some merchandise. You also can donate to this channel. My name is my channel is called ReligionWinked TV. I'm spirituality, and my ears stay. Guys, you've been great. I'll see you on the next upload, premiere, and/or live. Hit that notification box, the bell. Be a part of the Wink Squad. We're Winksters over here. We're Lace, L-A-Y-S-E, looking at you side-eye eternally, because evil is on every side of us, you all. Sickness is on every side of us, you all. Mental health is on every side of us, you all. Demons are on every side of us, you all. So if you take nothing else from this teaching today, please reevaluate, rethink the way you look at mental health. Encourage other people to seek other avenues and other ways of dealing with their mental health. So guys, with that being said, this is your girl. Let me show you the slideshow one more time. 2.4 million adults are dealing with it. Confusion, hallucinations, discouraged, disorganized speech, disorganized thinking, abnormal motor behavior, alright? It's a psychotic disorder. And then again, you have people like this little dude right here. Pretty much, I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I. But the weird thing is, they have the same head. It's a two-headed, cartoon. Guys, it's been great. God bless you. Nuri, thank you. Thank you. Alright, Wink, thank you for all your good work. Have a good night. You are great. Thank you. I gave up red meat over 3 years ago. Absolutely. It's causing the brain. It's causing it to turn on itself. Red meat is destroying a lot of us. And we've been working on the same thing here. We've been working on just basically trying to eliminate the things that can hurt us. But we've been taught to love the things that hurt us. And it's hard to let go of the pain. And I said one way you get over pain, you get over hurt, you get over rejection, is you gotta begin to let it go. If God is not holding on to it, why are you holding on to it? Hell, even the mental health clinics aren't holding on to it. Although I know some of the doctors need a mental health day themselves, they let it go when you tell them. You gotta begin to let it go. You gotta begin to heal. You gotta begin to seek other ways, because the world's way has hurt more people than it really has helped, saved, delivered, set free. Blessed. Truly blessed. So to the 4 people watching, thank you. 4 thumbs up. I appreciate that, you all. When this music go off, so will Mental Health Mondays. But like I said, we have opportunities to have call-ins, to have, co-hosts on Monday. We can just do mental health breaks, just come and chill, talk about how our day's been on Monday. I'm going to keep this going, you all. Some way we're going to keep engaging people. If more people were dealing with their mental health on YouTube, we'd have less of the nonsense, less of the BS, right? So guys, let me go ahead and break this down for you all. It's been amazing. Yes, so true. So true. We can only stand in the gap for people. You can't fight. You gotta fight your own fight. But if you can help somebody else, it's a blessing. This is your girl, Spirituality. You're watching ReligionWinked TV, and my spiritual ears stay. Alright, guys, I'm going to let it run out for like a minute or so. You've been great. God bless you. Not even a minute, maybe 15 seconds with some silence. And I appreciate you all. And I will see you on the next premiere, live, and or upload. And especially next Monday for the next edition, episode 13 of Mental Health Mondays here on ReligionWinked TV. Shalom. Alright, we got it. I think we done, guys. I hit stop recording. Hold on.